welcome to all of you to Stationers Hall, virtually anyway, Stationers Hall, and to the Stationers Company Innovation Excellence Awards. I'm here as the sort of mascot to present the awards, and those of you who may not already know, a little more about the company might be interesting for you, as well as a bit more about the Innovation Awards. Stationers Company was founded in 1403, and we've been here on this site, tucked away behind St Paul's, in what was the churchyard, of course, since 1606. Because this was where publishing and where people got papers from and so on and so forth, all those years ago. It was the right place to be. Now we're currently in the throes of a great refurbishment, reordering, development of the hall, built in 1673, and the first redevelopment since the Second World War when there was bombing. And we're making changes to give us wider access and indeed nice air-cooled conditions, and also be able to use the site in a much more flexible way. And the company has grown from 47, as it was at the beginning, to over 1,000 members, 1,000 liverymen, which is one of the largest companies in the City of London. And very encouragingly, 20% now of our membership are women. We've had one woman in charge, as it were, the master, and we look forward to more women. There are some very good people on the way, as it were. So the Stationers Company has always welcomed innovation. I suppose the most obvious first example of this was with Caxton and printing. That completely revolutionized publishing, of course. And we embraced that. And ever since then, we've been embracing new changes. The way that newspapers are produced and so on has changed radically, and now digital too. Most importantly, and this is of particular relevance for the Innovation Awards, we are one of the most active livery companies. 95% of our members are working or have worked in one of our industries. I'm a slight cheat because I started off because I was actually at Stationers Company School, but then later on I redeemed myself by being the chairman of a publishing company. And we've organized during this pandemic a series of online events. It has been a remarkable learning experience, really, and we've had to adapt quite quickly. And we've been delighted to welcome international members and visitors to the whole series of events that we've organised. Now, without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Jill Jones, who is the chairman of our judges. Jill is a board member and consultant within the publishing and edtech sector. She's had a distinguished career in publishing, most notably as the managing director of McGraw-Hill EMEA and then chief executive for Cengage Learning EMEA. We're delighted she's chairing this event for the second time and has steered us through the choppy waters. They have been choppy waters of COVID and lockdown to reach this point. Enough from me. I hope you'll enjoy the ceremony and be with us throughout for quite a bit of excitement.
Thank you, Master, and everybody welcome. Stationers, shortlisted award candidates, award entrants, past winners, and guests, welcome. Please bear with us today. Actually, I hope you're sitting comfortably because we're running this live. And as the Master was just saying, we've actually tried very hard to make sure that this will run smoothly, but just in anticipation of events, please bear with us as we manoeuvre our way around the logistics of running live to our virtual stage and also manage COVID-safe handovers, hence the kind of tiptoeing around the lectern from the Master and myself. Obviously, as chairman, it's my very pleasant duty to welcome you all to the presentations for the 7th Annual Stationers Innovation Excellence Awards, and we have some wonderful shortlisted candidates this year. I always say competition is fierce. It really was this year, and there are many who just missed the shortlist, and that was a real shame. It's a frustration of running the awards that we can't recognise many more entries. Anyway, thank you all for entering. So without further ado, I'll press on and let you know a little bit more about the awards. I mean, these should have actually been the 8th awards, not the 7th. But in 2020, we had to cancel them due to the pandemic. I'm sure most of you realise that. It was sadly one of my duties as chair to have to make that cancellation. And as Stephen mentioned, the choppy water sort of started sometime around last February, March. However, this makes these awards all the more special. I mean, there's hybrid in that I'm here with a few people from the Stationers Company, and we'll be talking to you live online. Business development hasn't stopped as a result of COVID-19. In fact, far from it. We've reflected this with one of our additional new awards, a new Pandemic Response Special Performance Award. To set these ones for this year in some context, in 2019, we thought we knew what challenges were for business and what uncertainty was, being faced with Brexit and also a UK political leadership change. Well, frankly, that now looks like really solid ground compared to 2020, which meant businesses not only had to adjust to those dynamics, but also adapt for commercial survival. And for many, innovation has been key. Within our own sector, where we're already experiencing the impact of disruptive entrants in the supply chain and the use of big data and content provision, the pandemic has actually accelerated trends in areas such as marketplace supply, online learning, and in augmented and virtual reality. It's of course strongly proven that innovation in all its forms is one of the main drivers of business growth and creates long-lasting advantages, improved competitive position, and increased value for companies and customers. And that's why we're all here today. The Stationers Company itself is committed to assisting the content and communications industries, which contribute more than 70 billion a year in sales to the UK economy. And support for this event is at the beating heart of what we do here. So what better way can we show this support than by recognising and celebrating some of the best innovation in our sectors? I'll now talk a little bit about the sponsors, the judges and the past winners before we present the awards. So please do carry on eating your snacks or drinking your drinks or having your chats with the people you've chosen to sit at your laptops with. I also apologise here for having to read a lot of this rather than speak off the cuff. And those of you who've heard me speak before will know that can sometimes be a dangerous thing, but also it'd be an absolute disaster if I had a Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway moment, as they did back at the Oscars, and got the wrong people to the platform. So bear with me. First of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about our sponsors. So on behalf of the Stationers Company, I'd like to thank PICON, the trade association representing manufacturers and suppliers to the printing, paper making and paper converting sectors. A big thank you to Bettine Pallant and PICON for their continuing financial support. I'd also like to thank Mathis & Squire for their sponsorship. A specialist intellectual property firm, they're supporting all award winners this year with consulting time to the value of £3,000, and we encourage the winners to utilise their services. Thank you for your most generous support. Many thanks also to James Luckhurst Associates and Embicom, who are providing additional consultancy for the Startup Award. We also couldn't run this event without Hobbs the Printer, to whom we're extremely grateful. Additionally, Di Thompson from PlusPoint provided marketing and PR, and Benedict Richards of Graphicacy designed and produced the awards brochures free of charge. Thank you all. Final thanks go to our trade association colleagues who promoted the awards within their industries, and also a warm welcome to members of the trade press who are online with us here today. We're delighted to have you all virtually here. So I'll now introduce the judging panel, and I've been really privileged to chair such a distinguished group again. I'll just read out who they are. Certainly, I know that you have had access to the online brochure, so you may have some information in front of you. But they are, in alphabetical order, Vida Barr-Jones, liveryman, CEO of Focus 7 International, and expert on brand-led digital growth, digital marketing and office products. Peter Day, liveryman and long-time and much-loved host of BBC Radio 4's In Business programme. You'll be hearing more from Peter actually during the course of this ceremony because he'll be conducting a short interview with each of the winners. Professor Linda Drew is the former Vice-Chancellor at Ravensbourne, an experienced chair, board member and trustee in the creative industries, social enterprise and education, including startups. Past master Helen Esmond is an entrepreneurial publisher, education champion, and founder of the popular annual apprentice events for the company, now centrepiece for the City of London Careers Week, including the online Apprentice Futures. Jonathan Kingsbury is head of the digital economy and creative industries at the Knowledge Transfer Network and co-founder of the UK 5G network. The Master, the Right Reverend Dr. Stephen Platten, who you've just seen, is former chairman of SCM Press and obviously will be presenting the awards today. Kit Van Tulken is also with us, is on the panel, advisor publishing and information company C-suite executives for over 30 years. So lots of mergers and acquisitions are at Kit's feet. And finally, Tim Webb, liveryman, is an expert on printing machinery and a past executive director and chairman of PICOM. I'm most grateful to the panel for their time, diligence and care they've exercised in this process. I have to say something here about the conflicts of interest. We've been very careful about being transparent about these during our process. Where there have been any potential conflicts, judges have declared these and have been recused from decision making. I should also note here that as chair, I didn't actively vote or act in the decision making, as I did not have to cast a single deciding vote for the 2021 awards. This is particularly important as some, including me as chair, do know some of the companies who entered. At this point, I normally call for a round of applause just to show appreciation for those who made this event happen, but we can't do that today, and frankly, we're not putting in canned applause. Please can I encourage you to show your support for the winners and those shortlisted by using the chat function when we get to that point in the proceedings. So now I'd like to revisit some recent, that's really 2019 because that's when the last awards were held, the past winners for a 30-second overview to see what's happened since they won their awards. Hopefully you can see a slide up in front of you. Auris Tech won the Service Development Award in 2019 for Phonetti, the AI reading app for children. Since then, they launched a schools platform and won accreditation from the DFE, making Phonetti the Department of Education's approved platform for primary age children to practice reading. So important during the COVID crisis. Also, Phonetti managed yet again to have a high profile campaign, this time featuring Judge Rinder. I just don't know how they do it. We also heard from Transmedia Storyteller, who won the Communications Award for Conductor Immersive Storytelling. This provides realistic crisis simulations, I said simulations, not stimulations, for corporate, government, security and defence to help train for major incidents. Since the award, they've gone from strength to strength, hiring 8 more people, and to top it off, won the Queen's Award for Enterprise Innovation this year. Another winner, Contact Originators, won the Business Process Award for Optimus, which maximises production capacity and quality for corrugated printers, and is now part of the standard capability they offer their customers. And they reported sales have grown continuously since the award. Our last past winner is Heidelberg, who won the Customer Experience Award and were also Innovator of the Year for Heidelberg Assistant. The stationers company was delighted to recognise the Internet of Things. Heidelberg Assistant was a big digitisation step, with AI based on Heidelberg Cloud, enabling a new way of collaborating. The AI tool receives live data from more than 5,000 machines to help customers continuously improve press performance. It also allows access to digital performance benchmarking and vendor-managed inventory with new modules including digital training and a maintenance management, all moving customers towards the print shop of the future. To give you a quick flavour, here's a short video from Heidelberg. Thank you, Heidelberg. It's excellent to hear such positive stories from some of our past winners, and we look forward to hearing similar success stories from our 2021 winners in a year's time. So all of you listen carefully. So what about the 2021 cohort? Well, entries were from an extremely broad church, which included several major global corporates as well as SMEs and startups from a wide range of sectors, including printing, publishing, manufacturing, marketing, media communications, print, and education and training. Entrants were whittled down into a shortlisted group for each of the awards, and a couple of companies submitted more than one entry, which you might notice, which was as per the guidelines. As a reminder, categories this year were business process, communications including marketing, customer experience, product design, product performance, service development, and startups. There was an excellent distribution of applications across all categories, with the exception of one. There were no applications for product performance. However, as all applicants which chose product performance as a second category, with the exception of one, applied for the product design award, so judging was made by reviewing all of these entries for product design. I've already mentioned that we also have a one-time pandemic response award this year, and also the coveted Innovator of the Year award to give out. By way of final note, I should mention that judging innovation isn't easy, because innovation itself means something new, and that often means there's a challenge in terms of any direct comparison. Additionally, innovation can be a single new element or combination of elements that deliver increased value to the customer and to society in general. However, we do welcome a challenge here at Stationers, and thank you all enormously for entering this programme. And on behalf of everyone here, we congratulate you all on the innovations you've made and for taking the time to enter and also to be with us today. Some of the backstories you provided made fascinating reading and listening. Now, to kick things off, I'd like to introduce to the stage Peter Day. You might remember I just introduced him as one of our judges for the former host of BBC Radio 4's In Business programme. Peter will also be talking to our winners later. So Peter, could I just ask you to say a couple of words?
Yes, thank you, Jill. It's always great to be part of this celebration of innovation. As I've said in the past, though, ideas are 10 a penny. As that genius inventor Thomas Edison is supposed to have said, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Now, in fact, the idea originated from the writings of a multi-skilled New England author, lecturer, and teacher called Kate Sanborn, but the man gets the credit. Anyway, what we're celebrating today is not just the bright idea, but the heavy lifting that goes into putting it into practice. And that's what our winners have done or are getting on with doing now. Jill.
Thank you very much, Peter. You'll notice our little dance there. That's our attempt to be COVID safe, because obviously things changed a couple of days ago in terms of what we were able to do. So we'll now come to the actual presentation of the awards, and this is how it will work. If you're announced as a winner, please, with the company's nominated point person, click the backstage link that you see in front of you and make sure your mic isn't muted. We'll then try to make sure that you go live and meet us on the stage. As you do this, I'll be saying a few words about the award and about the company, so you'll have time before we make you live. Of course, as this is live, it's quite risky, and we're sure it won't go quite as smoothly as we anticipate. We've had lots of practices, and some have been better than others, but hopefully it'll be more BAFTAs than Steve Coogan today. Anyway, could I also ask you, after you have received your award, to please return to the ceremony to support the other winners as we go through that. And the actual that part of the ceremony will not take too long. In case you're wondering how you'll actually receive your awards, because you'll only be able to see them today, not in a sort of tantalising way, we will send them to you. We'll send both the main trophies and the paperweights that we've created for all shortlisted entrants to be sent out after the ceremony. So here we go. On with the first award. First, the award for business process. Shortlisted entries in alphabetical order are the Jolly Savage for surplus printer toner, Paragon for COVID-19 home testing, Troika Systems for Anicam HD, And this award is accompanied by free consultancy time for Matheson Squire worth £3,000. So this category attracted entries that showed the advantages of increased personalisation within the business process. And a number showed how they had pivoted business processes as a result of the pandemic, including some at truly impressive scale and speed. The shortlist included new processes for recycling, an extremely speedy, well, less than 48 hours response to millions of customers nationwide, and ink waste reduction with a beneficial environmental impact. This was a really challenging category to judge as the first award, and judges felt the engagement levels of these companies delivering socio-economic and environmental gains to consumers was really high, with some fascinating development stories. However, there can only be one winner, and that winner for business process is Troika Systems for Anycam HD. Please welcome Troika Systems to the main stage. We should have Mr. John Jordan, Sales Director from Troika here. And whilst John is trying to join us by entering backstage, and our great tech people here are making that happen, I'll say a few words. So the judging panel were impressed with the quality of this entry and felt that the Troika business process that allows a microscopic camera to reduce the use of inks by 15 to 20% was truly innovative, despite stiff competition from other businesses with hugely scalable and positive environmental impact. I'm just going to check whether we've got John live, because we have, I think he's trying to join now. So whilst we're just waiting, I think we might give him a couple of seconds, and he's live. So could I ask Peter to come to the stage and talk to John?
John, what's so special about this process?
Hello. Yeah, I think the guinea pig for the audio session is ready.
That's right.
And he's live. So could I ask Peter to come to the stage?
John, what's so special about this process?
The process really moves around the ability for the guinea pig for the audio session is ready.
Got feedback.
That's right.
Let me see if I can stop the feedback.
John, what's so special about this process?
The process really moves around the ability for the guinea pig. Was that better? It's not tried now. Is that better?
Yes,
Yes.
much better.
Yes. So, very brief thing again. What's so special about the process you've devised?
Well, the Anycam HD is for the first time really building the accuracy and simplicity of checking the analogs for press, and for the users, the printers, is making a huge environmental impact. We estimated this last 12 months has saved in excess of 1 billion square meters of waste material being generated in the flexographic press industry.
So you're saving a lot of time and a lot of makeup time.
Absolutely.
Thank you, John. Glad we actually got it working properly in the end. Thanks.
Good. Thank you.
John, thank you so much, and you probably deserve an extra prize for being the guinea pig, but certainly we will need to meet you in person at some point. So thank you so much, and what an impressive winner you are. That was absolutely amazing to hear about the stats there. Thank you very much indeed, Troika Systems and John.
Thank you.
I could hear a big bang then. I'm not sure what that was. I'm hoping it was a bottle of champagne rather than somebody exploding in the background. Anyway, on to our second award, which is for communications. Oh, hang on a second. Sorry, you've gone. Sorry. We're going to backpedal. John, we're going to, the master is just going to say a few words to you because he needs to give you the award. Mea culpa.
Well, I hope you're still there, John. As someone who's done quite a bit of writing in my life, I know that people always say, well, of course, this subject, a great deal of ink's been spilt on this. Well, this is one occasion when ink won't be spilt in the way that it used to be in the past. So we're hugely impressed with this, and it's my great delight to present the award to you. Thank you so much.
And thanks for bearing with us, because I could feel the master kind of agitating in the corner there, and I realised it's because he was holding the award. So thank you for bearing with us. Okay, cheers. Right, on to the second award now, which is for communications, including marketing. And my trusty team here will probably shout next time if I forget anything. So the shortlist in alphabetical order is Boddington and Royal for Pendragon and the Age of King Arthur, Class Professional Publishing for JR Cult Plus, Turn on the Subtitles for Turn on the Subtitles. And this award again is accompanied by £3,000 worth of consultancy time from Matheson Squire. So again, huge variety in this category, which included retailer agnostic marketing and a writing competition, and several examples of companies swiftly pivoting their businesses through the pandemic. The three shortlisted reflect that wide range. One for augmented reality picture books, one for national guideline information for healthcare, and a global literacy campaign. Again, there can only be one winner, and the winner for the Communications Including Marketing Award is Turn on the Subtitles for Turn on the Subtitles. So please welcome to the stage, Turn on the Subtitles, and we hope Henry Warren, co-founder, is with us today. Again, as before with John, who was our really fantastic guinea pig, I will talk a little bit to allow Henry time to get on backstage and get our trusty tech working. The judges found this to be an outstanding campaign, high profile, UK originated, started with an impressively small budget of £1,000 and with huge impact. The veracity of using subtitles to increase literacy was felt to be critical, and the campaign had built a head of steam with celebrity endorsement and with the actions of the Indian government. Its appeal is universal. I'm just checking now, we seem to have Henry there live, so I'll ask Peter to come to the stage.
Henry, this is a brainwave idea because subtitles are there latent in most broadcasting. The campaign is to get the TV companies and users and parents and schools to turn them on. Does it really have the tremendous effect you claim?
Yeah, it absolutely does. I wish I could take credit for the idea. I really can't. This is building on the back of 10, 15 years worth of academic research from lots of different parties across the world. But here's something to think about with this. The average child watches 12 hours, give or take, of TV per week. Okay, this is the equivalent, if they have the subtitles on, of reading the same number of words that are in all of the Harry Potter books, all of the Narnia books, all of the Lord of the Rings books, and all of the His Dark Materials books. So it's not really that surprising when you think of it that way, that it does have quite this impact. And it actually doubles the chance of a child leaving school as a proficient reader. And
you got this rolling with hardly any money.
We did. We had a lot of help from some amazing people, lots of supporters, and those at Netflix and Amazon and the BBC and ITV have all been very supportive. So yeah, it's going pretty well.
Well done. Thanks.
Thank you, Peter. Now I just want to cue in the master and get this right this time to actually present the Communications Including Marketing Award to Henry.
Henry, let me add my congratulations. This is a most marvellous idea. As I move more securely into my dotage, so it becomes more and more important that I actually have subtitles so I can have some idea of what's on the screen. But more important than that, I have a wife who is actually been a moderator of a literacy scheme, and she will be very pleased indeed to hear of this. Huge congratulations for a very important contribution to this world of literacy and understanding. Thank you.
Thank you to all of the judges and all of those behind the scenes that made this ceremony happen. I know a huge amount of work has gone into this.
Thank you, Henry, and thank you, Turn on the Subtitles. Now we'll move on to our award for customer experience. And the shortlist for this award is Class Professional Publishing for Parapass, the Prince's Trust for Get Hired, Rickety Bridge for AR Wine Apps, Again, we're delighted this award was also accompanied by £3,000 worth of consultancy from Matheson Squire. A number of e-learning and skills entries battled it out in this category, as well as virtual customer experiences and innovative uses of data. The shortlisted candidates include an essential app for paramedics, an inclusive recruitment approach that reflects diversity, and an augmented reality customer experience. And the winner of the award for customer experience goes to Class Publishing for Parapass. Please welcome Class Publishing to collect their award. We should have Class Publishing CEO Lorna Downing with us. And again, whilst Lorna is coming to the backstage and hopefully being admitted, I'd like to say a couple of words. The judging panel were very impressed with Parapass, which scored highly right across the board for the judging criteria for market, customer, commercial and social and engagement reasons. It's a truly impressive app for paramedics, and what a time to win an award in these COVID times. So I'm just waiting to hear if Lorna Downing is able to join us. She's not quite there yet, so what I was going to do is just give her maybe 20 more seconds. Looks like she's with us. So Peter, over to you.
Lottie, you already have a very established business sending information to doctors and paramedics in the field, among other professional supporting services. This is a training device for paramedics, isn't it? How does it work? Very established business sending information to doctors and paramedics in the field, among other professional supporting services.
Sorry, I've got a bit of a delay here. It's a support for paramedics in the field, and this is a training program which we've been working on for many years and working alongside people within the ambulance service who we couldn't have done it without them.
And you pick this up on your phone, so you get you train on your phone, do you?
Absolutely. You can pick it up on your phone, on your iPad, and it also works on a PC. So it's extremely portable for all the people who are using it.
And it's got a lot of take-up.
Sorry, it's still giving me a lot of feedback on here. Yes, so I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear that, but I think what you were saying was it's all mobile and portable, and it's all evidence-based and medically accurate for the paramedics.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you, Lorna. If you could just remain online while I get the Master to present you with the actual award. Master.
Well, once again, this is a great delight to present this award. We live in a world where people complain a lot about it being an instant world. You know, a thing comes through, an email comes through, and people within about 20 seconds say, why haven't they replied yet? But actually, this is an area where instant replies, instant movement is so important with paramedics and so on. And to have this process, the training them on the spot, as it were, using their own telephone, is marvellous, particularly at a time when we've all been very worried about the health of our nation. Many, many congratulations.
Thank you very much. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you, Lorna, and thank you, Class Publishing. Now we move on to our fourth category, which is for product design. The shortlist comprises Kogan Page for the Kogan Page Accessible eBooks programme, Pearson for Maths Flex, and pop-up projects for 10 stories to make a difference. The award is again accompanied by £3,000 worth of consultancy from Matheson Squire. Three main themes emerged in this category: innovations for improving diversity, collaboration and inclusion, businesses responding to COVID, and some terrifically clever use of artificial intelligence. All three shortlisted, interestingly, came from the publishing industry and reflected the goals of inclusion and diversity. All focused on making information accessible and appropriate for audiences of different abilities, making it relevant and or personalised for different users. So, the award for product design goes to Kogan Page Limited for the Kogan Page Accessible eBook programme. And we're welcoming Martin Klopstock, Production Director of Kogan Page, to the stage. Again, whilst Martin is entering backstage, and making sure he's off mute, I'd like to say something about this award. The judges felt that the Kogan page entry addressed a real need and is infinitely customisable, especially as libraries struggle to meet the accessibility requirements of print-impaired readers, often having to pay for costly conversion, which still doesn't satisfy all possible accessibility features. The solution by Kogan Page was to build a born accessible workflow to generate files accessible to all readers, irrespective of accessibility requirements. Before I hand over to Peter, I must say that I am a non-executive director of Kogan Page, but did not take part in this evaluation or cast a single vote, as I mentioned before. So are we ready with Martin and Kogan Page? Not quite, so I will just give them another 20 to 30 seconds. Hopefully we have someone from Kogan Page ready to come onto the stage. So perhaps I could, oh, okay, right. Just as I'm about to do my fill in bit, we just get the thumbs up. So it looks like we have Martin Klopstock. And Peter, would you like to take over?
Martin, it's a publisher's production device that helps the publisher make the books in all these formats for visually impaired readers. Give us an example, please, very quickly.
Well, one of the features of accessible ebooks is that print impaired readers can navigate the content, search it, and
oops. I think Martin might have to repeat that. I'm not sure if everybody heard it.
Can you hear us? Are you?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm getting a lot of feedback. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes,
Yeah.
that's fine.
So
It's very clear.
yeah, they can
Go ahead with your example, please.
Yes, so print impaired readers can access the textbook content we produce using all the assistive technologies that they have access to, like text to speech.
I think we'll have to abandon this. Our technology is letting us down this time. But
Right, okay,
yeah.
thank you. What I'd suggest is that I just had a word from our technology person. There might be an additional tab that you have to mute in the background. So if you've got two tabs open, if your old tab is still open, you have to mute that tab in order to avoid getting the feedback. It appears that what seems to be causing the problem for some people. So Martin, what we might do is try and come back to you at some point. But anyway, thank you very much indeed. So what I'll do is I'll get the master to present the award to you, and hopefully at least you can engage with the master conversation.
Martin, again, it's a marvellous achievement, and a bit earlier on, I was just saying that getting well into one's dotage, the problem of hearing and having subtitles. Well, here we are now also, because I'm always having to buy new spectacles. And so I'm very pleased to know that any device that will make it easier for me to actually see things and make access to things is a huge development. So thank you so much, and well done to all of you for developing it. Here is a wonderful award for you.
Many thanks.
Thank you, Martin, and thank you to everybody at Kogan Page.
You're welcome. Sorry about the technical hitch there.
That's kind. We can hear you perfectly well, Martin. I don't know if you're able to say 20 seconds about your innovation, just really quickly to catch up.
Well, it's really just, it's to support print impaired readers who really struggle to access educational resources. And it's to support them in such a way that all of our products are accessible to them, not the odd one, and it's not an afterthought. This is now the new normal. And it is, in a way, it is a diversity and inclusion initiative to ensure that everybody has access, as they should, to the resources that help them to develop themselves and their careers.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad our technology worked in the end. So thanks for working it out, and to everybody for bearing with us. Right, okay, on to the fifth award, which is actually for service development. So the shortlist for this is Meteor Inkjet for waveform development systems, Westchester for the culturally responsive education rubric review, and World Textile Information Network for WTIN discovery. Matheson Squire again will provide consultancy worth £3,000. This has to be the category with the most interesting, or certainly the longest sounding innovation names in the shortlist. It was a field of exceptionally high quality innovations and included developments in online learning, several spurred on by the demands of the pandemic for remote learning. Licensing, back office and customer support for portals also featured. The shortlist includes a diversity and inclusion for publishing services, ink optimization and efficiency, and big data management tools. However, in the end, there was a clear winner here, and the winner for service development is World Textile Information Network for WTIN discovery. Please welcome WTIN to the stage. We should have Mark Jarvis here, MD, and whilst Mark is also, unfortunately, probably wrestling with the technology and the tabs, so please remember to turn off or mute any other tab you've got open, but unmute the one you're on backstage, we should get there. So as mentioned, WTIN was a clear winner. The auto data tools make research and business more efficient and effective and are a very large global potential application. The approach to patents is a good example of this, where machine learning extracts and visualizes the patent, thus enabling the viewer to very quickly determine if the patent is worth pursuing for further investigation. And as anybody who's dealt with patents will know, it's incredibly complicated. We can hear a little more right now, I hope, if we've managed to get Mark onto the stage. I don't know if we have. It looks like we have, so Peter, over to you.
Mark, you already supply an awful lot of information on a very timely basis to the fashion industry. What specifically does discovery, this innovation, add to the process?
Yes, thank you, Peter. Well, what we do is we take our content and pass it through a type of machine learning called natural language processing. And what this does, it brings context, it identifies sentiments in that content, and it creates connections between those pieces of content. And the end result through discovery is helping our users to WTIN.com to access more relevant information.
And this add-on to the service is actually a revenue raiser.
It's part of the subscription that goes with access to our website.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. So now I'd like to cue in the Master to present the Service Development Award to WTIN. So Master, over to you.
This is a really interesting development, I think, because the ability to actually sort of join concepts together so that people know what they're really looking for. Someone once said to me many years ago that the great thing about an image is that there is sufficient about it that is similar, but sufficient that's dissimilar to move us on and understand the thing in a different way. And it seems that this is just the sort of thing that's happening here. And many congratulations on shifting us forward in this way. It's a real innovation. Congratulations.
So well done, WTIN, and thank you, Mark. That was great.
Thank you.
So finally, our last but not least category award is the New for 2021 award for startups. It was a major development for stationers last year to think about having this award, and we finally got there in 2021. We were thrilled with the quality and quantity here. I mean, just amazing. And we look forward to more startup entries in 2022. There were strong themes here about sustainability, education and learning, inclusion and personalisation. And the shortlisted group, again in alphabetical order, is Perlego with Perlego, TouchGuard for TouchGuard, and Trust Elevate with Making the Internet a Safer Place for Children. Again, there is £3,000 worth of Matheson Squire consultancy time, and this also comes with an additional £1,000 consultancy from James Luckhurst Associates and Embicom for media and online marketing and IT services. The entries in this category range from the ethical printing material and reuse through to hybrid and personalised online learning. The judges were impressed with the quality of entries and also the commitment of founders in developing their businesses. Since applying for this award, it's been noted that some companies have already secured further, and in some cases, quite substantial funding. However, the 3 shortlisted all address real customer needs with a focus on a strong social impact. Palego, coined as the Spotify for textbooks, I think that was the Evening Standard, I can't quite be sure, is a response to student demand for affordable access. TouchGuard provides antimicrobial coatings that address the issues of disease transmission. And Trust Elevate provides a unique service to protect children online. So with that said, the Startup Award goes to Trust Elevate with making the internet a safer place for children. Please join me in welcoming Trust Elevate and hopefully founder Dr. Rachel O'Connell to the stage. Again, I will talk as we try and reach Dr. O'Connell. The judges felt that Trust Elevate was a development which could really move the dial in terms of internet security and access. It has the capacity to change the relationship children have with the internet, including the ability to improve digital inclusion, in particular by widening financial literacy. Already efficacy tested at scale with BT, Trust Elevate's solution addresses the previously unsolvable problem of knowing who is a child or an adult online. As you may have seen recently, new and emerging regulations require platforms such as Google, TikTok and so on to know the age band of users. What excited the judging panel about this for-profit and for-purpose company is that it aims not only to enable companies to operate within compliance guidelines, but also has a specific mission to make the internet a safer place for children. I believe that we have Dr. O'Connell on the line, so Peter, over to you.
Rachel, this is an app to verify age and parental consent to internet access. How's it going to be used?
So basically, we're a B2B proposition. So our channel partners include mobile operators. So every parent will be able to manage their child's access from within the mobile operator's app, native app. And then it's an API call that, for example, TikTok, Google, and others will make to our service to verify and know the age bands of the users. And the significance of that is we enable compliance, but also those platforms then can respect children's right to participate in a safe online environment.
And is this a commercial enterprise or a not-for-profit?
It's a commercial enterprise. So it's for-profit and purpose.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you, Dr. O'Connell. And I'd like to cue in the master now, just to present you with your award.
Thank you.
Rachel, this is really an important development. We all know how easy it is anyway, as adults, to somehow get it wrong on the internet. I remember arriving in Penzance once to check in with a hotel. I dialed the number that I had and found that I'd actually booked into a hotel in Great Malvern. So we all make those sort of mistakes, but more seriously, we sometimes find ourselves touching on things that we didn't mean to and we didn't like very much. And that's really serious with children. So to have this system in place is a great contribution to the safety of children. Many congratulations, Rachel, and to all who work with you. Marvellous. Congratulations on your award.
Thank you so much.
Yes, really well done. Thank you, Trust Elevate, and thank you, Rachel. And now we come to our new Pandemic Response Exceptional Performance Award. I need to say a little bit about this because this wasn't a scheduled award. The first thing is to say that I hope we don't have to present this again. We don't want to be presenting any Pandemic Response Awards again. But as we shall see, we felt that there was a real need to actually reward some of the efforts that had gone on in the last 12 months, in particular reference to the pandemic. I mean, of course, yesterday marked a benchmark day, which was sadly but sensibly missed in terms of release from COVID restrictions, hence the dance that we're doing here to try and make sure that we are COVID safe, although I'm not quite sure the air cooling is working. We're all at about 1,000 degrees in here now. The reason for this award is that many companies, over a third of those entering, explicitly outlined their response to the challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic in the UK. So after careful consideration, the judging panel determined that all entries should be reviewed again to evaluate the response of these companies in these exceptional times. It was then agreed outstanding achievements in adapting to the pandemic should be acknowledged with this one-off award. There was an incredible range of achievement to review. Many companies have refocused, scaled up, developed new product lines, and most importantly, pivoted to retain customers and provide excellent service and goods throughout this challenging time. I should say that not all these changes were truly innovative and the field was very strong, but one entry in particular developed an outstanding response, showing high adaptability to pivot to customer needs, and by doing this provide a really positive social, environmental and ethical response. This company is Wren's. I believe Wren's were intending to be here today with MD Ian Bullock, but as all these winners are under wraps, we don't know whether Ian is here. So we're going to try and get Ian to join us in a moment, particularly because there was no shortlist for this. There were really no hints about who was going to win this award. So I will say a few words as we try and bring Ian to the stage. So Wren's UK entered the awards with their product, the Wren's Air 2 Colour, a nifty gadget, which you'll hear more about in a moment. However, it was the significant response by this established company, which was founded in 1882, which is a leading designer and manufacturer of punching and binding equipment, to pivot to quickly produce quality PPE and other office supplies for managing business in a COVID environment that made a strong impression on the judges. The judges were unanimous in their agreement that this terrific pivot by Wren's, exemplified by the Air to Colour product, is a substantial adaptation to the pandemic and a major step forward in assisting customers to provide safe, quality working environments for employees and businesses. So Peter, I believe that we have Ian on the line, so would you like to say a few words?
Ian, this is not a COVID indicator, this is a CO2 indicator, fresh air indicator, a sort of traffic light system.
Yes, Peter, it's simply to encourage, as we came into autumn, to encourage regular ventilation. It was always going to be one of the cheapest and quickest ways of combating the pandemic.
This is a company who's been well known for an awful long time for making binding equipment. Why this pivot, this change? It does seem an extraordinary move.
I'm sorry, Peter, the feedback's too. I can't hear you, but I can't hear you. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Thank you very much.
Ian, hi. Sorry, we've had a couple of issues with this. You might just want to try pressing the mute button on your other open tab. But what I'm going to do is pass over to the master to hand you your award. Okay.
Well, this could hardly be a more appropriate award for us to want to respond to, because the hall at present here is very much in the process of development. And one of the key issues is about air cooling, what people often call air conditioning. And it sounds to me as if this is directly in the midst of this area. So many congratulations, and indeed for responding to it in these extraordinary conditions when you're about to receive a virtual award from a virtual master in a virtual hall.
Yes, well done. Thank you so much, Ian, and congratulations to Wren's for winning that exceptional award. So finally, to our last award of the day. And actually, we are bang on time, so hopefully we will get you away easily by 5:15 and not by 5:30 to your tables. The coveted award, Innovator of the Year award, is selected from all category winners. This was a really challenging task. I mean, you can just see the quality of the winners. The quality of the shortlist was so high, that was highly fought, and actually the winners presented a huge challenge to us. There was stiff competition between the entries with a high social impact, but in the end, the judges voted strongly in favour of one company. And therefore, I'm delighted to announce that this year's Innovator of the Year is Turn on the Subtitles. Please welcome again Henry from Turn on the Subtitles to the stage to collect the award. we're going to show a short video to end this segment of the proceedings. So if I could just have Henry on the stage again, if he's still there, hopefully he's still watching. Just checking with our technical backup here. So anyway, I'd just like to say a quote from a school teacher and parent, which really sums up the reason why Turn on the Subtitles is so powerful. The Turn on the Subtitles campaign is a brilliant innovation in its simplicity of message and aim, whilst having a huge impact on our children's education and future. To think that broadcasters have the ability to potentially double our children's literacy levels by having subtitles on their programmes was mind-blowing as both a parent and a former education practitioner. The TOTS campaign is doing such an important job to highlight this to parents and educators and work with broadcasters to have subtitles on by default so every child benefits. So what we're going to do is here we weren't going to have a chat from Peter because obviously we've already seen TOTS on the stage. So I was going to get the Master to come forward to present the actual award, which I'm going to do because we're struggling to reach Henry at the moment. But what we'll do is get the Master to present the award and directly to Henry, who is now here. So Master, over to you.
Henry, very good to see you again so swiftly after the last encounter. And this really is the supreme award of all, as I said, sort of the King of the Universe award, really. And for the thing to have actually achieved this seems to me to be something for great reason for congratulation in this particularly challenging year. So marvellous. Thank you so much for entering this wonderful system of awards, and all the very best for developing it further.
Congratulations, Henry, and Turn on the Subtitles.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Right, we'd like to finish that section with a very short video.
Hello. What takes 10 seconds, costs nothing, but could change your child's life forever? Yes, just turn on the subtitles. Amazing. Research has shown that just seeing written words on the screen while they're just chilling in front of the TV doubles a child's chance of learning to enjoy reading. You don't have to tell them you're doing it. They probably won't even notice. It could work its magic all by itself. COVID-19 has meant that some children have actually gone backwards in their literacy. That's a worry and a tragedy. So, please, go to settings, turn on the subtitles, and let the magic begin. Oh, the places you'll go. If you want to find out more, go to www.turnonthesubtitles.org. Meanwhile, have a lovely day.
Well done, Lenny Henry. Okay, so with that, we're nearly at the end of the event. Congratulations once again to Innovator of the Year, Turn on the Subtitles, and also to all shortlisted candidates and to all winners and all entrants. Without this, the programme wouldn't have been at all possible. Before the Master wraps up the proceedings, I'd like to make 3 points, so please bear with me. Firstly, my thanks on behalf of the Stationers' Company to both the Master and to Peter Day, and to the administrators, particularly Rixandra Oprea from Stationers and the Stationers staff who made this event possible. Secondly, we should be sending you all a full brochure of this event with details of the entries. Further copies will be distributed widely to our industry and media contacts, along with our press release, which will go out shortly. And in case you don't believe me, here it is. Thank you to Hobbs the printer and to Benedict from Graphicacy for actually making this fabulous document, and you'll see your write-ups in there, so please do read it, and it will also go to all our Stationer members as well, so nearly 1,000 people will get that in addition to the press and so on. Finally, to be allowed insight on the wonderful innovations entered has been a privilege for me, my fellow judges and the Stationers' Company. We look forward to seeing you all again in 2022 when we intend to have 2 new categories, one for international entries and another for online learning, which must have been the most hotly contested segment of this year's awards. Thank you all. I'd now like to hand over to the Master just to close the proceedings, which should be well ahead of time, and release you to have a few drinks and enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Jill, very much indeed. And this has been a star-studded occasion. And the 6 main stars, or 7 actually, in a case I think, perhaps even 8, if one must have got 2 in one go, as it were. The main stars are you who've actually brought these innovations to us and then won these awards. So thank you so much. We've also had a few more stars to add to it. First of all, Jill, who has chaired our judges and has been remarkable in doing that. Peter Day hardly needs any introduction. And it's been great having him on board. It was nice of Lenny Henry to pop in briefly, and Roxandra here, who has kept us going through this extraordinary process of electronics that makes this possible. Just amazing. So thank you. Please keep the innovations going. Please also let us know what they are next year, because next year we'll be back in the outstanding background of our hall, hugely improved. And no one will be stifling to death as we are today with all this heat, because we'll be beautifully cooled and in a sparkling new hall. We hope you've enjoyed it nonetheless, virtually. And we hope we've given you enough time to sit around your tables, enjoy each other's company, and indeed to have a drink on us. Thank you so much.
Cheers, everyone. We were just coming to say cheers and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.